Why do people get married?
I don't think that it's really a bad thing necessarily if like a wife and a guy get divorced and she gets half the shit.
A marriage is a contract to make sure that you guys both get something out of a fucking relationship if it goes far, you know?
This is Trainwrecks TV's podcast where you have who's who and they have a little conversation about what's going on, various topics. Well, they had our guy XQC on there. XQC cannot go anywhere without talking about marriage, without talking about a debt. People bring it up. Even if you don't want to talk about it, they like, well, what do you think about this? A debt related question. Well, here it comes right here.
You know what? Can I address something?
Sure.
And I joke around about a lot of stuff, but there's something I'm really curious about. And I don't know, like I said, a lot of young guys, and I don't know what your situation is, with relationships and everything. But one thing I'm really curious about is just marriage just doesn't make sense anymore. That doesn't really interest you. I'm just curious about that.
Hell of a question, right? You see this pie eating grin on his face. Does marriage make sense anymore?
Nope.
No. But let's hear what XQC had to say about it.
Passport bros, bro.
Well, depends on who you ask.
Oh, hell
Yeah.
nah, motherfucker.
Honestly, I'd like every one of you to give me a response. I'm curious.
He had to take a sip.
Marriage is a scam. It's a private contract.
No, go ahead.
Marriage is a scam.
That's a truthful statement.
Give me,
No,
I want to know
Bro,
I want to know
bro.
the answer.
Wrong.
For me, I have a great experience being married, but
I
let
had
X
to
go
learn
first.
about it against my will. Okay, I never thought the word marriage would ever be in my life, to be honest, until it was against my will. But
this is my wedding ring.
I think marriage is dog shit. I think unless both partners have a traditional mindset about how marriage will work, it's completely useless because you need both people to be exactly on par with what and communicative about what they want, what their involvement, and what they're gonna do with the marriage, or whatever, right? And if that's good, marriage may be the best thing, right? But I'm not like that, and because I don't have this traditional mindset. But it can work for a lot of people. But these days, people are either not on that line of old school mindset, or they're deceiving and purposefully malicious about it. I generally think a lot of people will deceive their partner and do a bunch of shit to make them believe that, and then fuck them over.
100%. Look, this was a huge base take from a guy who was never married. Marriage, it's a big risk for men, for the most part. And when you look at the benefits of it, if there are any, if you see anything beneficial about being married, that's tangible, that you can like measure, you can write down, that you could touch, you could feel. It's just not there for men. Is it worth losing half your shit? Is it worth alimony? Is it worth, if there's shit going left, losing half of everything you built? Now, Asmongold is going to chime in a little later, but what do you guys think of XQC's initial take on marriage?
Generally, because they're not going for the long haul.
And you're right to feel that way.
No, great take though. Honestly, great take. Let me just back up a second. Are you saying that, or you have girls that are just deceiving, knowing that there's guys that have money and that ultimately I'm doing it just for money? Is that where you're going with this?
I mean, if it wasn't
100%. Like, look, someone would say, Coach Greg Adams would say, there's no romance without finance, and for the most part, that's true. You want to clap cheeks? It ain't gonna be free. You're gonna pay in one way or the another.
real, then Kanye wouldn't have made a song about it.
Yeah. So yes, exactly. So my thoughts about it are gonna go like this. I'm gonna structure them a little bit better, so I'm less cryptic about it. I generally feel like a lot of people maybe they want to get married, right? And I think marriage is it's kind of old school, right? I think that traditional
it's like
marriage,
going to college.
It's outdated, guys.
If you go into marriage, right, with the traditional mindset of like, when people say, oh, dude, let's say some like red pills that, oh, these are like wifely duties or whatever, right? I don't really believe in that, right? But if you're in a marriage that is like that, right, or it's very traditional, where there's like one guy works a lot and the other person is like stay at home and whatever, that's a good structure because that's how it was before, right? And that's okay. That I think that's a good thing, right? If one guy works really hard and one is like stay-at-home mom, do the cleaning, the cooking. But other than that, why do people get married? Why do people get married?
So let me say this. So first of all, you're articulating this perfectly. I'm in full agreement. And let me ask you a question. And I mean, I think you can give me a pretty straight answer. I mean, financially, you're a wealthy guy. Yeah.
Now look, we know he got money, you know what I'm saying?
I got money.
And when you got money, it's really hard to find someone who's genuine, who has a genuine interest in you because they're already looking at the bag.
Yeah, I'm doing good.
Oh, yeah, you're good.
How much you dog?
So I've been married 31 years.
Hell yeah.
Now,
Congrats.
when
Yeah,
I-
I was saying congrats. I'm happy for you. That sounds really good.
So-
Yeah,
when I met Los's mom, my wife, when we met, we were young kids, right? We were really young and we were fucking broke. We didn't have anything. So what we did though is we both were traditional. Our families were similar, so we were traditional. And what we did is we built our livelihoods. We did everything together.
But
I mean, believe it or not, as crazy.
But that doing everything together shit, that shit is so dead right now. Who is really gonna grind with you in the trenches right now? 2023, you meet a woman, you say, I'm broke, I got nothing of value to offer you, but I got a dream. I'm gonna make it one day. Can you stick with me? She gonna be like,
Nope.
No, I'll see you at the finish line.
When I say this, I laugh. So my wife and Los's mom is a doc. I had a pretty good career. I retired from it, but I was a sales guy, financial and all that stuff. So I think for us, it was very traditional and we didn't have shit going in. We were fucking broke and we just built it together. Now, a guy like you, when I talk about this a lot, you got to be really fucking careful, man.
You don't say.
I don't know. I'm going to tell you right now. I don't know. Like
you gotta be really careful. You no shit. You don't remember what just happened for the last 11 months. You can't assume that everyone on this podcast is aware of what XQC was going through with Adept.
Someone like yourself, I don't know what to tell you, man.
I think the rule of thumb is you just get somebody who's.
You guys are all doing well for yourselves. I don't know, prenups and everything else.
Prenup is fuck.
I'm honestly.
Prenup doesn't even.
I don't know what to tell you, man. I don't know what to tell you.
Prenups aren't always like.
Listen, dude, a marriage is a contract to make sure that you guys both get something out of a fucking relationship if it goes far. You know what I'm saying? Really.
You guys want to hear my take?
But some
30 years as a girlfriend or a boyfriend, and then you get absolutely dick out of the end of it. You know what I'm saying? It's just to make sure that somebody is a mediator in the breakup process.
I mean, why should you get shit?
I'm not saying. Listen, I'm not. I'm just saying what it is.
Some people can be in a relationship for like a while, and then like they get something like common law married, and then the person still gets half their stuff.
Yeah,
that happens.
Now, why should someone get something just for existing? Well, we've know
been promised compensation, being taken care of, being loved, being wanted back, being missed. It didn't meet.
Wait, did she say she was always promised compensation? Like, what is Adept? Did you pay for play? Look, you see where they're going with this conversation. They say, hey, look, well, if you've been with a woman for X amount of years or so much, she deserves something. Now we're about to hear what XQC has to say about women deserving something at the end of a relationship. Do people deserve anything at the end of a relationship? Do people just have a warped sense of entitlement?
Oh yeah.
No, but I
don't think there's reasons why that's there.
But I think that's okay though. Like if you're married to someone for 10, 20 years,
bro,
and maybe there should be limits, tiers. Like if you're married for like 5, 6, like the longer you're married, because you're also asking this wife to kind of stay home with the kids and do everything. She's putting off a career potentially just to be your wife.
Oh, her whole life.
And then at the end of it, you don't want to like.
XQC has clearly a different opinion. Y'all about to see it.
Yeah, fuck it. You're entitled to half the shit.
Entitled.
If you're smart financially and you know where to invest and how liquid you are, how you split up the assets. Maybe you have a deal in place on what she gets. You could work that out over time. But I'm saying I don't think it should be like, oh, she shouldn't get anything. But there shouldn't be anything like
I'm gonna snap. I'm
about to fucking lose it. He is about to lose it because that's essentially what was happening. What Adept was trying to do was trying to take half of everything he earned over the course of their 4-year relationship, and she's trying to prove, say, common law because she went to Canada and got her back blown out.
No.
There could be like an amount, but just
you're
saying
right.
half is ridiculous.
Let X talk. Go ahead.
No, yeah, maybe not
Listen,
half, but
Listen. I'm only knowledgeable about this because I had to look into it and I had to do all the fucking and just look into it, just flat out, right? And
Why does his screen keep jumping?
I really sat down and I really thought about this, right? I do agree. People deserve something for the efforts they put in the relationship in that capacity. Being alive is not good enough to be given something. Okay? Just because you exist doesn't give you any sort of royalties on what a person is doing, because you wouldn't sit there and do the fucking work, yo. There is a value though in keeping the household clean, or like doing everything in the relationship, making sure there absolutely is. But to say that you deserve, let's say, half of things because you woke up, brother, all American, everybody out there wakes up in the morning and does shit, right? Some people do great things. Some people do like not so great things, right? So what makes you entitled to that big end and the result of the hard work when you ain't doing shit?
Now, here's the thing. I know some people are saying, hey, this is a dumb take on his part. But hey, I'm with him. Why do people have this sense of entitlement? If I'm putting in the work, why do you feel like you deserve half? Now, look, granted, you can be like, well, I'm taking care of the house. Now, we know the extent of what Adept was doing when XQC was streaming, because she said it. We can go back to the tape. We can look at the proof. Tell them, Adept. Tell them.
I went to Target. I bought new artwork. I bought a new alarm clock, like the Google Home shit. I bought a nightstand. I bought a throw blanket. I bought a little basket to put the blanket in.
Now, why was she buying the alarm clock when she was his alarm clock function? Like, I was tripping. But you see what happened? Hey, I did all this shit for XQC. I should get half. She did all this shit. You like, what the fuck did you do? What?
I hung it up on the wall. I brought the furniture into the house.
Okay.
I made the bed. I decorate. I got a little plant with a little vase. I got different curtains so that the light couldn't come into the bedroom as easily. And when
what the fuck is
the
this?
person I was living with came into the room, all I wanted and hoped for was that they could maybe feel a little bit better and sleep a little bit better. That's it.
You see all this this sense of entitlement. You like, well, why does X feel this way? Well, look at this shit. You saw what she just did, and now you see what she's going after. What does he feel about this? Thank you for the super chat. I'm gonna read it in 1 second.
But that's assuming they're not doing shit.
I think that really
Which
what
is
Mo is
never the
talking about.
case.
It's also about like having kids.
Hold on, Summit then Asmongold. Summit, go ahead.
Good. Good.
No, go on, brother.
Say, go ahead.
I want to get this out there and say, like, I actually am a big supporter of traditional marriage. I think traditional marriage is a great thing. I'm a big fan of it. I don't think that it's really a bad thing necessarily if like a wife and a guy get divorced and she gets half the shit. But I think that the big factor there to me is if they had kids together, right? Because like you ask somebody to dedicate, the top 20 years of your life, you're with a girl till she's, from 20 to 40. And like that kind of locks her out of a lot of shit outside of those years. And that's something that she's never going to get back. Like money, you can make more money back. You don't have a fucking time machine. So like I totally understand it in that way, but I think that a lot of people like they should only get married if they want to like have kids and build a family together, and more importantly, they need to get married to somebody who actually has the same values as them. Because I see this all the time when it's like a guy starts dating this girl and this girl is totally fucking different than him. And it's like, well, then you're getting pissed off. It's like for example, like you go and you buy like a crazy, like a fox, right? Like an animal. And like, then you get surprised when a fox acts like a fucking fox. You don't buy a fox and expect it to act like a dog. And it's the same thing. Like guys like chasing after these really hot hot girls that do all kinds of like scandalous stuff, want to go and live their own life and do that. That's great. But you can't expect to go get somebody and have them act like a housewife like that. And I think that's a problem that guys have, is they just try to push that value system on somebody that doesn't want it. So I think marriage is a great thing. The main reason why it's a great thing is not for either party, but it's for the fucking kids. It is the best thing for the kids. Like growing up, my mom was a...
Now, Asmon is cooking, and yes, it is a great thing for the kids. You want your kid to have the best chance of winning at life. You need to be in a 2-parent household. Traditionally, a traditional marriage would meet that requirement. I'm just nervous about, people changing their mind. Sure, going into the marriage, they may have the same values, but you can never plan or anticipate someone changing. And those values that they once had, they no longer have. And now they want to, divorce grape you.
At home all the time. And goddamn, if I ever had kids, I would want to be able to give that to them too. And so I'm a huge supporter of it. I think it's great, but you have to find somebody that has the same point of view.
It's an abusable thing, just like anything else in the world.
But listen to XQC's Fox analogy, guys. It's coming up.
Because you can, right. Exactly, because these days you can dress like a fox, you can probably talk like a fox, you can do anything the fox does, and
but
in the end, you're just a dog, right? and then you deceive somebody for years and knowing what's going to happen, right? And say, hey, my bad, I was a dog the whole time, fuck you, right? How do you navigate that?
At the end of the day, though,
look, that is base. That counter argument for Asmon's, hey, you had similar values. You thought you had a fox. You said, no, I'm a dog. And you like, next thing you know, she on the phone, you talking to her and she like,
you're not a victim here. You have never been a victim here.
And then when you don't buy that shit, now she trying to RP divorce your ass and take half. And now she got your cars locked up. She telling people she been fucking hit, beat, abused, all this other thing to destroy your name in the court of public opinion.
I held people while they cried.
Here we go.
I loved them.
Here we go.
I wholeheartedly loved them.
Go.
I believed them. I forgave them. I trusted them. I let them into my home. I was violated by them. I was abused by them. I was hit by them. I was hurt by them. The whole list goes on and on. I did not break. I did not bend until I fucking had to.
And that's you.
There you have it, guys. This is what happened. You're like, well, I'm going to marry a fox. And at the end of the day, there's no penalty for it whatsoever. So this is what happens when you're like, well, I'm going to follow Asmon's route. I'm going to go get someone with similar values. I'm going to go get a fox. And this fox is going to, do fox stuff. But part of having a fox is they got fucking teeth, and when they bite your ass, it's over. But XQC is right, man. No matter how hard you plan and how much you screen, people will trick your ass. They will flip it up, and then at the end of the day, they're right. Fuck you. But what do you guys think about XQC's take on marriage? I believe this is the end of it. I mean, they go back and forth a little bit, but that's the meat and potatoes of it. That's the gist of it. It seems like, you got Lou Palos and Lou. You got the guy who's been married 30 years. Sometimes these older guys like, no, get married. It'll be great, right? You like,
nope.
Fuck, you like, what?
Hey, yo, what the fuck?
Imagine going to XQC and telling him the benefits of marriage. Like, no, man, you'll live longer. She could help you make good decisions. You could do all this shit. You like, dog, what? I made it this far on my own. What the hell I need to complicate things for and get fucking married? What is that going to do for me? You're like, what? Split half? Lock me up? You know what I'm saying?
All right. This one's to Adept.